Thanks for tuning in. Hot rod culture became a national phenomenon by the 60s as automakers started building fast cars, giving birth to the term American muscle cars. In this episode, we'll cover the 12 fastest quarter-mile cars from 1965. Stay tuned and be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel as we get into the countdown. Number 12. Ford Mustang 2+2 Hypo 289, 15.9 seconds. The 1965 Ford Mustang 2+2 Hypo 289 was a high-performance variant designed to appeal to enthusiasts and compete in the flourishing muscle car market. At that time, all fastback models were called 2+2 because they had two seats in the front with two other folding seats in the back. Hypo was the abbreviation that signified the version of the 289 engine specifically designed for higher performance compared to the standard 289 engines. This engine was developed by a team of reputable Ford engineers like Don Free and Lee Iacocca. In 1965, the 289 V8 had three options: a two-barrel rated at 200 horsepower, a four-barrel rated at 225 horsepower, and the mighty four-barrel Hypo, rated at 271 horsepower and 312 pound-feet of torque. The engine featured several upgrades, including the solid lifter camshaft, larger four-barrel carburetor, stronger valve springs, improved cylinder heads with larger ports, and high-performance exhaust manifolds. The car's suspension was also tuned for better handling, with stiffer springs, a larger front sway bar, and heavy-duty shock absorbers. With the Hypo mated to a 4-speed manual transmission, the car finished the quarter mile in 15.9 seconds, traveling at 89 miles per hour. Number 11. Plymouth Barracuda Formula S, 15.9 seconds. The 1965 Plymouth Barracuda Formula S was Plymouth's answer to the growing demand for performance-oriented compact cars. It's a true American classic muscle car known for its remarkable combination of power and style, as Plymouth intended to offer a high-performance variant of the standard Barracuda. The project was overseen by engineers, and the end product was the distinctive fastback with its large wraparound rear window, which provided a sleek profile that aided aerodynamics. The Cuda came out 2 weeks prior to the Mustang 2+2, its top rival of the year. Under the hood, this beauty featured the commando 273 cubic inch V8 with 235 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. It was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that added a sportier edge, giving drivers precise control. With performance upgrades like the heavy-duty suspension and a larger front sway bar, the car ran the quarter mile in 15.9 seconds, traveling at 89 miles per hour. Number 10. Buick Riviera Grand Sport 425, 15.5 seconds. The 1965 Buick Riviera Grand Sport 425 was a high-performance luxury coupe that represented Buick's entry into the personal luxury car market with a powerful twist. At that time, Buick intended to compete with the Ford Thunderbird in the personal luxury car segment. The 65 Riviera came with a sleek, Bill Mitchell-designed body that provided good aerodynamics despite being a large car. The package featured a heavy-duty suspension with stiffer springs, a larger front stabilizer bar, special shock absorbers, and power-assisted steering with a faster ratio, significantly improving the handling. Under the Riviera GS hood was the 425 Super Wildcat V8 engine that produced 360 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Featured dual 4-barrel carburetors, a 10.25:1 compression ratio, larger valves and ports, and a high-performance camshaft. The engine was mated to a 3-speed automatic transmission, which handled the torque well and enabled the car to finish the quarter mile in 15.5 seconds at 95 miles per hour. Number 9. Pontiac Catalina 2+2 421 HO, 15.5 seconds. The 1965 Pontiac Catalina 2+2 421 HO was a high-performance, full-size car that exemplified Pontiac's wide-track performance image. The Catalina 2+2 421 HO was developed under the guidance of Pontiac's chief engineer, John DeLorean, who came up with a complete redesign of the car for the third-generation models. That said, the 2+2 option evolved from a trim package to a full-performance package. Under the hood was the high-output 421 V8 engine with a tri-power. Tri-power referred to the engine's induction system, which featured 3 two-barrel carburetors. This setup, also known as a three-deuce arrangement, provided better fuel distribution and enabled the engine to produce 376 horsepower and 461 pound-feet of torque. The 421 was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that enabled better acceleration and power control. The 65 Catalina ran the quarter mile in 15.5 seconds at 95 miles per hour. Number 8. Dodge Coronet 500 426S, 15.4 seconds. 1965 saw great improvement as Dodge street cars witnessed the rebirth of the Coronet nameplate, which had last appeared in the late 1950s. The 65s had been restyled, with the top variant being Coronet 500. The 500 was only available as a two-door sports model, hardtop, or convertible, with bucket seats and a console as part of the 500-level package. Chrysler Corporation intended to dominate in both NASCAR racing and street performance with this variant. The 500 426S, where S stood for street version, distinguishing it from the race-only 426 Hemi. The 426 V8 produced 365 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, and was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission. This enabled the Coronet 500 to run the quarter mile in 15.4 seconds, traveling at 89 miles per hour. Number 7. Buick Skylark Grand Sport 401, 15.3 seconds. Buick surprised everyone in the mid-60s by introducing a performance package for the intermediate Skylark that would rival the Pontiac GTO. The model was called the Grand Sport and was available for the thin-pillar coupe, hardtop, or convertible Skylark. This package featured added chassis reinforcements, heavy-duty shocks, a thicker front anti-roll bar, and larger drum brakes. Under the hood was the nailhead 401 cubic inch engine that was advertised as a 400 cubic inch. Buick intentionally did this to dodge GM's self-imposed 400 cubic inch displacement ban on all intermediate models. The 401 donned a beefy cast iron block, a 10.25:1 compression ratio, a heavy-duty radiator, dual exhaust, and a 4-barrel carburetor. It was rated at 325 horsepower and 445 pound-feet of torque, and was mated to a standard 3-speed manual transmission, but there were options for a 4-speed manual or a 2-speed super turbine 300 automatic transmission. The potent engine enabled the Skylark Grand Sport to run the quarter mile in 15.3 seconds at 88 miles per hour. Are you ready for our top 6 fastest quarter-mile cars of 1965? Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, which helps us create more automotive content. Number 6. Oldsmobile 442, 15 seconds. The 1965 Oldsmobile 442 was a significant player in the muscle car era, offering a blend of performance and sophistication. The 442, which originally stood for 4-barrel carburetor, 4-speed manual transmission, and dual exhausts, was in its second year of production and was excelling in racing. GM engineers had built the Cutlass-based body, which was relatively sleek at the time. In addition to this aerodynamic achievement, the car featured sturdier suspension with stiffer springs, special shock absorbers, a performance rear end, and a revised steering geometry that improved handling. For the 1965 model year, Olds chose to replace the venerable 330 from the predecessor with an all-new 400 cubic inch tall deck big block V8. The 400 produced 345 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque, thanks to the 515 CFM Rochester 4-barrel carburetor. The 65 Oldsmobile 442 ran the quarter mile in 15 seconds flat at 98 miles per hour. Number 5. Ford Galaxie 500 XL 427, 14.9 seconds. In 1965, Ford had to pull up its socks as it aimed for both NASCAR racing and the street performance market. The Galaxie 500 XL 427 entered the third generation, having been championed by Lee Iacocca, aiming to conquer other rivals like Chevy and Chrysler. The 65 Galaxie 500 XL predecessor had done all wrong aerodynamically, as its large size wasn't good for a good drag coefficient. However, Ford redesigned a more sloped roofline and installed a smoother front grille. Additionally, the car featured heavy-duty suspension components, larger front and rear anti-roll bars, and stiffer shock absorbers. Under the hood roared the 427 engine, available in 2 configurations. The 410 horsepower version had a single 4-barrel carburetor, and the 425 horsepower version featured dual 4-barrel carburetors. The 425 horsepower was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission, and it completed the quarter mile in 14.9 seconds at 97 miles per hour. Number 4. Shelby Mustang GT3 5289, 14.7 seconds. The Ford Mustang was introduced in the second part of the 1964 model year, and it became a racing legend and a sales sensation to say the least. Things even became better in 1965 when Carroll Shelby partnered with Ford. Shelby aimed to transform the Mustang into a legitimate performance car capable of competing in the Sports Car Club of America racing, so he finished the Mustang in Wimbledon white with Guardsman blue rocker stripes. He also added numerous chassis and bodywork improvements that improved maneuverability and lowered weight. Nevertheless, the most important upgrade was found under the hood, where Shelby fitted it with a beefed-up 289, which was also featured in the GT. The engine received exhaust headers, an aluminum intake manifold, and a larger Holley 715 CFM 4-barrel carb. The tuned 289 was rated at 306 horsepower and 329 pound-feet of torque, and was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission. The 65 Stang ran the quarter mile in 14.7 seconds at 90 miles per hour. Number 3. Chevy Malibu SS 396, 14.6 seconds. The Malibu SS was initially released in 1964 for the two-door hardtop and convertible, but returned in 1965 with a new option dubbed the Z16. The option added box frame rails typically available on the convertible, a narrow rear axle and brake assemblies borrowed from the Impala, and a heavy-duty suspension setup. The heart of the Chevelle Malibu SS Z16 was the L37 396 V8, which marked the first time a big block was used in a factory-built Chevy Intermediate. The engine was equipped with forged pistons and crank, 4-bolt mains, ported cylinder heads, a hydraulic lifter camshaft, an aluminum intake, and a Holley 3310 4-barrel carburetor, which enabled it to produce 375 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. It was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that helped the Chevelle run the quarter mile in 14.6 seconds at 100 miles per hour. Number 2. Pontiac GTO 389 Tri-Power, 14.5 seconds. The 1965 Pontiac GTO 389 Tri-Power was one of the most iconic muscle cars of its era. It was developed to offer unmatched performance and style, marking Pontiac's strong entry into the muscle car market. John DeLorean was the major driving force behind the GTO project, while Bill Collins designed and engineered the car. It featured excellent aerodynamic features such as a split grille, hood scoops, and a sleek, muscular body design. Also, this vehicle featured an improved suspension for better handling and stability, particularly at high speeds. Pontiac developed the powerful 389 V8 engine used in the 65 GTO by revising the cylinder heads with improved intake passages and high-rise intake manifolds, which enhanced airflow. Therefore, with its trio of 2-barrel Rochester carburetors and hot camshaft, the engine was rated at 360 horsepower and 424 pound-feet of torque. It was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that enabled the car to sprint and finish the quarter mile in 14.5 seconds, traveling at 100 miles per hour. Number 1. Chevy Corvette 396, 13.9 seconds. The 1965 Chevy Corvette 396 was a significant model in the Corvette lineup, marking the introduction of big block power to the Corvette series. This move was aimed at enhancing the performance capabilities of the Corvette and maintaining its reputation as America's premier sports car. Besides the potent engine, the 1965 Corvette featured a sleek and aerodynamic design that reduced drag and improved high-speed stability. Additionally, it had an independent rear suspension that played a vital role in improving handling and ride comfort. Under the hood roared the 396 turbojet V8. Many call the 396 the first L88 as they share many similarities. The engine featured high-performance components such as a solid lifter camshaft, large port cylinder heads, and a Holley 4-barrel carburetor that helped it produce 425 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. The 396 was mated to a 4-speed manual transmission that helped the Corvette conquer the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds at 104 miles per hour. Thanks for watching. Which of these fastest 65 quarter-mile muscle cars is your favorite? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the like button and hit the bell icon to be notified when we release new content.